The sun hung like a burning coin in the sky, turning everything beneath it the color of bone. 3 hyenas moved through the dry grass, their shoulders sharp under loose skin, ribs pressing against their sides with every step. They hadn't eaten in days. The land had turned cruel. Water holes had shrunk to mud. Most of the herds had moved north, chasing rain that never came. But today they had found something. A baby elephant stood alone near a cluster of dying acacia trees. She was small, maybe 4 months old, her ears too big for her head, her legs still learning how to hold her weight. She swayed a little, confused, trunk hanging low like she'd forgotten what it was for. Around her, the ground was empty. No herd. No mother. Just dust and silence. The hyenas didn't need to discuss it. Hunger made the choice for them. They split apart without a sound, forming a loose triangle around her. The largest one, a female with a scar across her snout, moved in from the left. The others followed her lead, slow and patient. They had done this before. Not with elephants but with young wildebeest, lost buffalo calves, anything that wandered too far from safety. The baby sensed something. Her ears flicked forward. She turned her head, eyes wide and searching, but she didn't know what she was looking for. She let out a soft sound, half call, half question. It echoed across the empty plain and faded into nothing. No one answered. The hyenas lunged. It wasn't clean. It was noise and panic and dust exploding into the air. The baby stumbled backward, trunk swinging wildly. One hyena grabbed her hind leg. Another snapped at her side, teeth sinking through skin. She screamed, a high, broken sound that didn't belong to something so young. Her legs buckled. She tried to run but only managed 2 steps before she fell. The hyenas circled tighter, their jaws working fast, instinct driving them forward. The baby kicked once, twice, but her strength was already fading. Blood darkened the dirt beneath her. Her breathing came in short, panicked gasps. And then everything stopped. Not because the hyenas gave up. Not because the baby fought back. But because something else had arrived. A lioness stepped out from behind the thorn bushes, silent as shadow. She wasn't running. She wasn't growling. She just walked, slow and steady, her eyes locked on the hyenas. Her coat was dull from the drought, her body leaner than it should have been, but there was something in the way she moved that made the air feel heavier. The hyenas froze. The one with the scar turned first, lips pulling back from her teeth. She didn't retreat. Not yet. But her ears went flat. Her body tensed. The lioness didn't look away. For a long moment, no one moved. The baby elephant lay bleeding in the dirt. The hyena stood watching. And the lioness, alone and silent, took another step forward. The hyena with the scar took a step back. Not far, just enough to show she was thinking. Her eyes stayed on the lioness, measuring her, looking for weakness. The other 2 hyenas shifted their weight, glancing at each other, unsure. The lioness stopped a few feet from the baby elephant. She didn't charge. Didn't roar. She just stood there, blocking the path between the hyenas and their meal. Her tail hung low. Her shoulders were set. She wasn't asking. She was deciding. The hyenas knew what lions could do. A single swipe could break bone. Jaws strong enough to crush a spine. But this lioness was alone. No pride behind her. No backup. And there were 3 of them. The scarred one tested her. She moved to the right, trying to circle around to see if the lioness would follow. The lioness turned with her, keeping herself between the hyena and the calf. Her movements were calm. Controlled. Like she had all the time in the world. One of the smaller hyenas let out a low giggle, the sound they make when they're nervous. The third one paced left, trying the same trick from the other side. But again the lioness adjusted. She didn't rush. Didn't panic. She just moved with them, always in the way. The baby elephant stirred. Her trunk twitched. She tried to lift her head but couldn't. Blood still seeped from the wounds on her leg and side, staining the dirt dark. Her breathing was shallow, uneven. She was fading. The lioness glanced down at her. Just once. Then her eyes returned to the hyenas. The scarred hyena snarled, a wet, guttural sound meant to intimidate. She took another step forward, closer now, testing how far she could push. The lioness didn't move. Didn't flinch. She just stared, her gaze cold and steady. And that's when the hyena realized something. This lioness wasn't protecting a kill. She wasn't guarding food. She was protecting something else. Something the hyena couldn't understand. The standoff stretched on. Seconds became minutes. The sun continued its slow crawl across the sky. Heat shimmered off the ground in waves. Somewhere far off, a bird called out, sharp and sudden, then went quiet. Finally, the scarred hyena stepped back. She looked at the others, some silent signal passing between them. They didn't like it, but they understood. This wasn't worth dying over. One by one they turned and slipped back into the tall grass. They didn't go far. Just far enough to watch. To wait. Because hyenas are patient. And they knew the lioness couldn't stay forever. The lioness watched them disappear. Then, slowly, she lowered herself to the ground beside the baby elephant. She didn't touch her. Didn't clean her wounds. She just lay there, her body a wall between the calf and the world. The baby's breathing slowed. Her eyes half closed. And the lioness stayed. The sun began to sink, turning the sky pink and orange. Shadows stretched long across the dry earth. The heat softened, but the air still felt heavy, thick with dust and the smell of blood. The baby elephant hadn't moved in a while. Her chest rose and fell in weak, uneven breaths. Her eyes were open but unfocused, staring at nothing. The wounds on her side had stopped bleeding, but the dirt around her was dark and wet. The lioness lay beside her, perfectly still. Her head rested on her paws, her eyes scanning the grass where the hyenas had vanished. She could still smell them. They hadn't gone far. She knew they were watching, waiting for her to leave, waiting for a mistake. But she didn't move. Time passed slowly. The sky deepened to purple. Stars began to appear, faint at first, then brighter. A cool breeze rolled across the plain, carrying the scent of distant rain that would never reach them. Then from somewhere beyond the thorn trees came a sound. Soft, deliberate footsteps. The lioness lifted her head. Another lion appeared from the shadows. Smaller, younger, her coat still holding the faint spots of youth. She moved carefully, her eyes locked on the older lioness. There was hesitation in her steps, like she wasn't sure if she should be there. The older lioness made a low sound, not a growl, just a quiet breath of recognition. The younger one stopped a few feet away, her ears flicking forward. She glanced at the baby elephant, confused. Then back at the lioness. For a moment, neither of them moved. The younger lioness stepped closer. She sniffed the air, catching the scent of blood, hyena, and something else she couldn't name. Her eyes stayed on the calf, trying to understand why her companion hadn't left. Why she was protecting something that wasn't theirs. The older lioness didn't explain. She just shifted slightly, making room. The younger one hesitated. Then, slowly, she lowered herself to the ground on the other side of the baby elephant. She didn't know why she was doing it, but she trusted the one who had called her here. Now there were two lionesses. Two sets of eyes watching the grass. Two bodies forming a barrier. The hyenas, still hidden in the distance, saw it too. And they didn't like it. The hyenas crept closer. Not all at once, but in careful, calculated steps. The scarred one led, her body low to the ground, eyes gleaming in the fading light. She had waited long enough. The baby elephant was still alive, still bleeding, still theirs by right of the hunt. Two lionesses were a problem. But they were thin. Tired. And the hyenas had numbers. If they moved fast, struck hard, they could still win. The younger lioness noticed them first. Her ears shot forward. Her body tensed. She looked to the older one, waiting for a signal, for direction. The older lioness rose to her feet. Slow. Steady. Her eyes never left the hyenas. The younger one followed, standing beside her now, shoulder to shoulder. The baby elephant lay between them, too weak to stand, too broken to run. Her breathing had grown quieter. Slower. Like the world was already forgetting her. The scarred hyena stopped just outside striking distance. She tilted her head, studying them. Then she laughed. That strange, unnatural sound that hyenas make. The others joined in, their voices rising into the night, sharp and mocking. The lionesses didn't react. They just stood there, unmoving. The hyena took another step. Then another. Testing. Pushing. And then, from somewhere beyond the ridge, came a sound that silenced everything. A deep rumble. Low and powerful. It rolled across the land like distant thunder, shaking the air itself. The hyenas froze. The lionesses turned their heads. And from over the hill, shapes began to emerge. Large. Gray. Moving together in a slow, unstoppable wave. Elephants. The herd had returned. At the front walked the matriarch, her tusks worn smooth from years of living, her body massive and deliberate. Behind her came the others, mothers and aunts and older calves, all moving in silence, all heading toward the same place. Toward the baby. The hyenas scattered immediately. No hesitation. No second thoughts. They disappeared into the grass like smoke, their laughter cut short, their confidence shattered. The lionesses stepped back. Not in fear but in respect. This was no longer their moment. The matriarch approached slowly, her trunk raised, testing the air. She stopped a few feet from the baby, her ancient eyes studying the small, broken form lying in the dirt. And for the first time in hours the baby elephant stirred. The baby lifted her head. Just barely. Her trunk moved, reaching toward the matriarch, trembling with the effort. A soft sound escaped her, weak but unmistakable. The matriarch stepped closer. She lowered her trunk and touched the baby's face, gently, carefully, as if checking to see if she was real. The baby leaned into it, her small body shaking. Behind the matriarch, the herd circled around them, forming a wall of gray. The older cows rumbled softly, a sound that vibrated through the ground. It wasn't celebration. It was relief. Recognition. The baby was theirs. One of the cows moved forward and nudged the baby with her trunk, trying to help her stand. The baby's legs wobbled. She fell once, then tried again. This time, with the cow supporting her, she managed to stay up. Shaky. Unsteady. But standing. The matriarch looked at the lionesses. They stood a short distance away now, watching in silence. There was no threat between them. No challenge. Just understanding. The older lioness turned first. She didn't look back. She simply walked into the darkness, her body fading into the night. The younger one followed, glancing once more at the baby before disappearing after her. The herd began to move. Slowly. Surrounding the baby, keeping her close, guiding her forward with gentle pushes and low rumbles. She limped, her wounds still fresh, but she moved. One step. Then another. The matriarch led them away from the blood-stained ground, away from the place where death had almost won. As they climbed the ridge and vanished into the night, the land fell quiet again. The hyenas were gone. The lionesses were gone. Only the wind remained, sweeping across the empty plain. And somewhere far off, hidden in the tall grass, the older lioness lay down beneath the stars. She had stayed. And that was enough.